everyone, this is Emily Mercado of Loves to Travel the World Travel Agency. I'm presenting this video today because it's now starting to be the season to book theme park tickets. We're going to focus today on Universal Studios, and I've gotten a lot of questions also about whether or not people should be bringing bags, backpacks of some sort into the parks and whether they're allowed to. So what we're going to cover today is what to bring to Universal Studios and the best day bag tips. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, just a little bit of an introduction. We're going to talk about what to bring to Universal Studios, the best tips for packing a day bag or backpack, and also to keep in mind that less is definitely more when considering what to bring to Universal Studios. Many of the rides that will be discussed over the course of this video don't allow personal belongings to be brought on board. So that's definitely an important consideration to keep in mind as you're thinking about what to bring. And also bringing a bag, bringing something that can carry everything, it will definitely save you time and money in the park. So what to bring? What should you bring when you're considering going to Universal Studios? Well, we're going to talk about some important items that you can just tuck in your bag if you plan on spending an entire day. That's really important to keep in mind. I want to help you guys be prepared with the basics as well. And it will also help you to tour the park efficiently, so that you're not going to be spending time trying to hunt down things like Tylenol or Band-Aids or bottled water where you're most likely going to be spending 3 times the price if you're going to be purchasing it in the park. If you have it with you, you're not going to be spending that money when you can allocate that money for gifts or other souvenirs to bring home. Like I said, it will definitely help you to save money. And I'm also going to include a detailed list of things to pack in your day bag as well, so that you can definitely make the most of what it is that you're going to be doing in Universal Studios. Okay, so tip number 1 is choosing the right backpack or fanny pack. Now, this is just an example of something of a backpack that you can purchase. Now, obviously, whatever your comfort level is or budget is, you can go with whatever it is that you feel the most comfortable. This is just an example of something that you can use. Now, the most common question that I've gotten as a travel agent is, can I bring a backpack into Universal Studios? And we're going to focus on Orlando, Florida, for this video. So can I bring a backpack into Universal Studios Orlando? The short answer is yes, but with a few things to consider. Many of the rides at Universal Studios and also Islands of Adventure, they don't allow personal items, including backpacks, to be brought onto a ride. Now, this is different than Disney World, which will be addressed in another video, but in a lot of the rides, you need to leave your backpack either in a locker or with someone else. And you do need to have a very good understanding of the Universal Studios locker system so that you don't have to waste time figuring it out and that you don't have to figure out where to put your backpack, thus wasting precious time. And whether or not you have to pay, it depends on the size of your backpack. Basically, the bigger your backpack, the larger locker that you have to get. The standard size lockers, 14 inches by 5.5 inches by 16.9 inches, are free. That's a pretty small locker size, but again, those are going to be free. Any larger lockers, they're going to be $2 during the posted wait time. So if the wait time is, say, for a ride is, say, 30 minutes, it's going to be $2. And then it'll be $3 extra per 30 minutes. So you want to have a large enough backpack that could fit everything, but small enough where you're not having to spend any extra money. All right, and like I said, like I just said, make sure it's smaller, smaller backpack or a fanny pack, so that it could fit into the free lockers. Tip number 2, get a lanyard with a waterproof pouch. Again, this is just an example, just for illustrative purposes, but get a lanyard with a little pouch like this. All right. A common upgrade to a standard Universal Studios admission ticket is the Universal Express Pass. Works similar to the ones that are offered in Disney World. But what this Universal Express Pass does is it allows guests to skip the regular standby line so that you're not wasting precious time in line. You can use the Express Pass line at most of the attractions at Universal Orlando and the Islands of Adventure. Okay, but something to note that if you stay at one of the 3 premier on-site hotels at Universal, then you're going to receive a complimentary Express Access ticket, which is linked to your hotel room key. All right. But if you purchase the Express Pass ticket online or on site, it's going to be a standalone paper ticket, which is why I recommend you getting a lanyard such as this on the left to just tuck your paper ticket in so it doesn't get wet or lost. Either way, the Express Pass ticket or hotel room key does need to be scanned at the Express Pass queue and at the Express Pass loading area prior to boarding the ride, just so that they could keep track of it. I do recommend a waterproof lanyard to put your pass in, as I said, because these are not provided by Universal or the resort you're staying at. It's a really good way for you to kind of keep things safe, so they're not getting lost or wet. So tip number 3 is comfortable walking shoes. Universal Studios is a very huge resort complex covering 541 acres of land. Make sure, absolutely sure that your shoes are comfortable and broken in before you get to Universal, because you are going to be walking a lot, and you're going to want to plan to walk an average of anywhere from 10 to 12 miles every single day. I do have a couple of suggestions. I've heard a lot of people talk about the Nike Flex cross trainers, which is here with the blue swoosh. There are Nike Flex cross trainers. They're available in men's, women's, and children's sizes, and they're very highly breathable, and they're very cushioned, for your feet. I personally don't like Nikes because I just have weird feet and they're a little bit too narrow for me. But what I recommend is the Salomon hiking sneakers, which is up here in the purple. I've bought a couple of these, and these are my go-to sneakers of choice. There are men's, women's, and children's sizes, and just like Nike, they're very breathable, and they're actually a little bit more sturdy than Nikes. They are geared more towards trail hiking, but I've used these Salomon sneakers to walk around New York City a lot, and other cities, and even just for my day-to-day errands, and my feet feel just as comfortable at the end of the day as they did at the beginning of the day. So, but it's really a matter of your personal preference. These are just my suggestions, but again, whatever your preference is and whatever your budget is, these Salomon hiking sneakers may be, for adult sizes, maybe around about $150 a pair, but if you get them on sale, or with a coupon, then the price is a little bit more reasonable. Nike's, anywhere from $50 to $100, kind of like more moderately priced. But again, whatever your budget is, whatever your preference is, these are just my suggestions. Tip number 4, a waterproof phone pouch. This, especially if you're going on a lot of water rides, this is definitely key of something to have. If you're anything like I am, I have my cell phone on me at all times. It's usually within an arm's reach of me, or in a place where I can get to it pretty easily. Um, and when I'm on vacation, as I'm sure you do, I use it. I use my phone to take pictures, to take photos, just so that I can look at them on my computer, at another time. All right. And the most convenient way to carry around your cell phone is to have it easily accessible, and also with thing like the Universal Orlando app already loaded onto it. But make sure when you're getting a waterproof phone pouch, make sure to check the size and compatibility with your specific phone. I personally have an Android device. I have a Samsung Galaxy, but the dimensions for my phone could be different from your iPhone, and even different iPhone versions have slightly different dimensions. So before you leave, you just want to make sure that you're getting the proper pouch for your specific phone. And you also want to make sure that you're getting a case that doesn't hinder the use of your touchscreen. I've been in situations where I've gotten a pouch and I've gone on vacation and I didn't check the pouch before we left. And when I started to use it, I was, disappointed to find out that I really couldn't use it because I couldn't access the touchscreen. So it, to me, was kind of a waste of money. So I'm just kind of trying to make sure that you guys um, are thinking about these things before you leave. Right? Tip number 5 is a portable battery charger. Even for day to day things, if I'm spending the day again touring New York City, or if I know I'm going to be out all day, say visiting friends or family, having a portable battery charger is key, because you don't want your phone dying, in the middle of your day, and you can't take pictures or access what you need to access. And especially at Universal Orlando, when you're on a family vacation, you're gonna be taking pictures all day and using the resort app, to check things like wait times, mobile ordering of your food. It's going to drain your battery pretty quickly. So you want to make sure that the battery charger that you have is small and light, and will give you a pretty quick charging as well. Because again, you don't want to have your phone be dying, in the middle of your day, and then you can't take pictures or use your phone. So you just want to make sure that your battery charger is as small as it can be, while still giving a very good and very quick charge. Sunscreen. Tip number 6, sunscreen. So important, especially in Florida, because the sun is very, very strong, especially in the winter, just because of Florida's proximity to the equator. It's very sunny, very bright, and the sun is very strong. So, like I said, with Universal, with the location in Central Florida, there's no natural shade, or there's very little natural shade. So sun safety should be a very important consideration for you, especially with little ones. Because of the dark pavement and limited shade, you are getting a very high exposure to UVA rays, UVB rays. You are getting very high sun exposure. All right, and you are going to be outside for an extended period of time, especially when you're waiting in line and there's no shade to be found. All right, so you want to actually select broad spectrum sunscreen and lip balm to protect your lips as well. And something else to consider is to bring along UV protective sunglasses as well to protect your eyes. And you just want to make sure that the sunscreen that you're choosing for your face, for your body, and your lips will protect broad spectrum. And you want to make sure that you're reapplying your sunscreen every 2 hours, even when the weather is a little bit cloudy, because you are still getting exposed to the sun. And like I said, sunglasses and a hat are great for additional sun protection, but as with any of the thrill rides in Universal Orlando, they must be stowed in single-use lockers before getting on board. All right, just to prevent them from falling off and causing a problem. Rain ponchos, tip number 7. Rain ponchos, I know they look ridiculous, they look kind of strange, but the unexpected showers can pop up, especially unexpectedly, and you want to make sure that you're prepared so that you don't get wet, especially your backpack. Orlando is very well known for its sporadic rain showers, especially between May and October, because May and October is the rainy season, and again also coincides with hurricane season. Not that hurricanes are going to be a problem, but you want to make sure that you're totally prepared. All right, and even if it's not going to rain, when you're there, ponchos are a great thing to wear on a water ride to help keep yourself relatively dry. A portable rain poncho, you want to get one that's portable, especially with a drawstring hood, which is definitely an added bonus to help keep your head dry. Now keep in mind that there are no adult water rides in Universal Orlando. They're just a few kids splash areas, but several of the best rides are at the Islands of Adventure park, which include ones where you're going to get wet. So it might be beneficial, if nothing else, to use a rain poncho for those rides. Tip number 8, reusable water bottle. Okay, park policy does allow reusable water bottles like the ones pictured on the left. I don't have any particular brand suggestion, but I definitely recommend bringing a reusable water bottle to help keep yourself hydrated. You can walk into any restaurant or service counter and ask to have your water bottles refilled, generally at no extra charge. Now, larger water bottles won't fit into a fanny pack or a smaller backpack, but if you bring a collapsible leak-proof bottle in a backpack, it will definitely save a lot of money. And you're not buying $5 water bottles every couple of hours in the park. What I don't recommend, though, are things like hydro flasks or other heavier bottles, because they are a little bit bulky and they do take up space, because in a backpack you are going to have a little bit less room to work with. Tip number 9, snacks. You're definitely going to want to bring some snacks, to keep yourself energized, and so that you're not spending money on snacks in the park, because usually when you're in a situation like you're like a theme park or something like that, food and other things tend to be a little bit more expensive. All right, so if you bring your own snacks, you are going to save a significant amount of money. You can take food into the park. I've checked, and so that is a good thing. You can take food into the park. And having a few snacks on hand in your backpack is always a good idea. And you are going to save money by not buying snacks in the park, and you are going to save some time by not having to search down food and wait in line. And when you're hungry, you tend to get a little bit cranky. So definitely a money and time saver. And it's a good idea to have a combination of your family's favorite healthy and sweet snacks, because you do want to have things that taste good and are healthy and that are treats as well. Tip number 10, pain medications. You do want to take pain medications, Aleve, Motrin, acetaminophen, aspirin. Make sure that you're taking adult dosings as well as children's dosings. You don't want to give adult dosings to a child, but it's a really good idea to have some on hand in your backpack, just in case something happens. You don't want to risk spending time having to get last minute pain reliever from a gift shop, again, because it is going to be a lot more expensive in the park, and you are allowed to bring pain relievers, your own pain relievers, in your backpack. You always want to leave room for a travel size container and also motion sickness medicine as well, because there are going to be rides that are obviously moving, and not everyone reacts well to roller coasters or other rides where you're going to be in motion. Small injuries, headaches, upset stomachs, those are the things like that are bound to happen. Trust me, from personal experience. These things are bound to happen, especially if you have people in your family that are prone to injury. It's always best to be prepared with a few OTC medicines. OTC is over the counter. You want to make sure that you're prepared with these things from home. Tip number 11, hand sanitizer. Especially now during times of COVID, hand sanitizer is definitely key to having on hand, so that you're ensuring that your family is healthy. Okay, it's one of the most important ways to stay healthy while traveling is washing your hands with soap and water. But a lot of times you don't have access or easy access to soap and water, so that's why I suggest bringing along some hand sanitizer. Especially after touching ride handles, before eating, and pretty much any time where you're coming in direct contact with germs, because a lot of times, especially during peak travel season, I would say maybe April through maybe the end of September, there's going to be a higher demand for bathrooms, and thus the lines are going to be longer. So if you in the interest of saving time, having this hand sanitizer is key. All right, it's one of the most essential things to bring in your backpack, and if possible, you want to make sure that you're getting one for every member of your family. But obviously, if you're traveling with a large party, say 5 or 6 people or more, that's going to be an awful lot of hand sanitizer. So maybe a larger container will suffice. All right, Universal Studios backpack tips, helpful tips. All right, less is more. That is true, especially here at Universal. And keep in mind again that most rides at Universal Studios don't allow bags to be brought on the ride. So as a reminder, you are going to have to get a locker to store your bags. And consider the size of your backpack or fanny pack and whether or not you're willing to pay for lockers. If your budget is kind of tight, then obviously you want to try to avoid spending any additional money. Backpacks are allowed, however, on water rides, but you do want to make sure that you're bringing a plastic bag to cover your backpack so it doesn't get wet. Okay, and the weight of your bag should be dispersed equally across your shoulders. I don't recommend getting a crossbody backpack or purse because after 8 or 9 hours of walking around, you're going to end up with a stiff neck, a sore shoulder, sore back. So the weight should be dispersed equally across your shoulders. And just keep in mind that all bags, backpacks, purses, packages or personal items that are subject to x-ray and or additional inspection. So that's just kind of something to keep in mind when you consider bringing in a backpack to Universal. And also suitcases and bags with wheels are prohibited. They're strictly prohibited. So don't even think about it. So, I'm just kind of trying to help you kind of think about before you go what it is that you can bring. So that's about it. As always, if you have any additional questions or comments or concerns, you can always email me here. This is my email address. You can contact me through Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Yelp, or YouTube. And here's my website, www.loves2traveltheworld.com. And if you have any questions or anything, or suggestions or feedback, you can always leave a comment down in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you got a lot out of this video. Have a good day, everyone.